like Steve is more organized, though. He already knew what charity he wanted. Reggie was like, I'm going to pick one later. I'll see you in a little bit. So shout out Liquid already winning the first strike in this. But pick ban has begun, and Ornn the first ban away in the top side. And statistically, actually, across the world, that has been the most sought-after top laner worldwide in Professional League of Legends. No surprises here. Zoe actually not the #1 mid, but still scared of.
A lot of the focus has also been on the bottom lane here in the meta very recently. A lot of AD carries getting banned out. The Kog'Maw, Kalista, Ezreal are kind of the main three that have been super highly prioritized. Only one of the spots taken up here from TSM on this red side, though, so it looks like some of those will get through, and there are quite a lot of options for that role right now as far as hyper carries do go from the bottom side. Absolutely. And that's even more important in this game because that is the lane they talked about everyone focusing on. Doublelift versus Sven.
Yeah.
This is going to be the revenge lane.
It's a big hype matchup. Going to be a fun one to watch for. One final ban for TSM. Ezreal off the table. Liquid now with first pick. Of course, we are on 8.1. Runes Reforged, same patch is live. And Kalista, a champion that no one got to play for pretty much all of Worlds, still a high priority. And Double says, are you sure we want this one? Impact gets the final say as he can click it in. But
you reading lips there? What are you talking about? You know what he...
I don't know what he's saying, but he's like shaking his head. He's talking about matchups. Either way, we'll see if it is Kalista. Certainly has been a highly prized champion. And no, the blind pick Gangplank. You expect go to top lane, picked up for Liquid.
Gangplank really thriving right now in the current meta. The runes coming in, giving him Klepto as well, just really exacerbated some of the harassment and gold farming issues that people had to deal with when playing against this champion. Now, he still does retain some of the weaknesses that he had before. You can send jungle pressure up there. You can try and dive him with a strong lane. So that may be something we see from TSM as Hauntzer definitely has been one to try and exert his will on the top side.
Sure. Gonna be a fun one. Rise, we've actually seen played in top a little bit in Pro so far, but you expect to be the mid laner here for Bjergsen. Of course, we all know the jokes about NA Rise, but still a good chance for him here in this one. It's Mike Young's turn to lock in a champion for the team. We'll see what TSM gets second.
Yeah, with TSM locking in Rise, I would expect Team Liquid, and Po Belter to go with something like a Malzahar. Ultimate is extremely good against Rise for that short range. And one of the premier mid lane champions right now. There's your answer, though, the Gnar for the Gangplank. That is super common as far as one of those matchups that we see all the time, trying to get that pressure, boomerang spam from the top side. And Gnar does do a lot of things. He fills a lot of roles as far as the strategy that you are going to try and pull off later with your team.
Yeah.
Either split pushing, joining during those Gnar timings with the Rage Bar for team fighting as well. So definitely a versatile opening here from the TSM squad. And Team Liquid, there you go, as expected. Malzahar did come in.
Yeah, for the most part, these teams are picking according to essentially global pro pick rates right now. They're picking all the high-tier things that we've seen over in China, Korea, Europe, etc. And it's time for Double Figure Up Champion. He's going to go for Tristana here. So Kalista, 98% presence in pro play up to this point. So far not picked. Double would rather play Tristana here.
And Tristana is a slight blocker to Kalista because of the trading patterns early on in lane with, the explosive shot, but it's not like a counter or something. It's not like he's blocking.
You do fine.
Exactly. And we know that Sven has a very long history with Kalista. And the biggest thing about Kalista to me is how she really enables the support picks. Support picks right now are primarily melee focused, big tanks, right? And Kalista is just perfect with that. You get the ultimate, you get to assist in playmaking for your support. So Sven and Mithy, one of the duos that was signed together and brought over to North America together, it seems like a dream combo for them. So very curious to see what Team Liquid's plan is in letting this very high priority pick go over to the TSM bottom side.
Yeah, of course, Liquid had considered that their more important bans were Zoe and Azir against Bjergsen there in the Ornn. They didn't want to first pick it. Not want to let Hauntzer play that one himself. So Braum banned away on the TSM side. Of course, TSM still get first pick of the second phase. And you wonder if it's going to be jungle or support in this case, but still we've yet to see a jungle ban. Waiting to see what these teams think is most important here, as Threshner also off the table.
Yeah, everybody worried about the combinations with support right now. I would say Alistar is also rising in popularity with Tahm Kench, Braum, and Thresh all banned. He's a huge playmaker and definitely something that would combo extremely well with the Kalista as far as these hard engages that you're looking for.
Well, Shen's been pretty common as well. We'll see if that comes through into this one. 12 picks, 25 bans so far in pro play. So far, yeah, as you've mentioned, the two support bans. Shen is off the table now as well. We're going down and down the list. Taric and Rakan to be next up according to the online tier list, but still wait to be seen. And again, all the junglers are available, so if he wants to play Nidalee, I mean, it's not unheard of, but I'll wait to see what it really comes out for both of these squads, as one final ban comes through for Liquid, and then TSM need to round out some part of their lineup.
Yeah, and Team Liquid are looking fairly scary as far as some scaling on their first 3 picks that they've got already. GP, as we talked about, even with the addition of Klepto, scales even harder, or even quicker, up to his early Trinity Force, and can really be a huge threat. If Kalista doesn't watch her placement in those team fights, barrel chains are pretty easy to land on short-range AD carry, even if she's hopping around, you know, as annoying as it is. The barrels are actually one of the things that you can use to slow her down. Plus, there's a Malzahar on your team, so that
makes it really easy as well. And even though Kalista does hop, the speed is influenced by your movement speed, so you'll see some very slow-mo acrobatic to the barrel does hit her there. There's the Alistair Tarek coming in as well. You saw the Kha'Zix away from Mike Young, and now Liquid have to round out their lineups with the last little bit.
Yep, kind of as expected, these supports filling in the 2 melee ones, premier melee ones left. Are we going to get a throwback here? Because Gragas has fallen a bit out of favor for the junglers, but
a little bit.
Smithy definitely was always one to be the tank frontline for his team. Huge initiator. Gragas still can create early playmaking. Flash Body Slam is still very much available.
Yeah, Gragas seems to be like an NA special right now, where we haven't seen it much globally in pro play, but we've seen several Gragas picks in North American Academy play so far, actually. It's kind of most prevalent league here. Before they're going to go, though, what is Mike Young going to play in his first game on TSM, the Hover? And it's actually going to be the Shyvana in the jungle, and I think this might be the first for, no, not the first for global pro play. Had a couple plays before, but still fun to see a champion that I think so often was maligned for, oh, has no early game pressure, has no utility. Why would you play Shyvana? It's a solo queue all-star champion, and Mike Young shows up at TSM, and they're going to give him a Mike Young champion.
We actually did have a little bit of discussion of this on the dive, and one of the biggest things, proponents of Shyvana are always going to talk about how the sphere of influence on the map just follows her around, because after your first clear, she is incredibly imposing. Very few people can 1v1 this champion, so wherever she goes, as long as she's going to a strong area on the map for you, you kind of bring a lot of the extra pressure there, and it forces your opponents to kind of play around this point of power. It also puts more focus on early game stacking of the dragons. And since this is a team with Kalista, I really like what TSM are thinking here with building out the composition and their strategy of layering a couple champions' strengths on top of each other. Kalista Alistar is great for doing the Drakes, so we really will, not only because of double lift, but because of the compositions as well. And it looks like the strategies they're pulling out here be focusing on the bottom side of the map, at least for the first part of the game.
Totally agree with that. We'll see if that bot lane pressure does come through. Of course, seems like a decent meta game for Mike Young, or playing Shyvana as well. Tanks are very common in top and support right now, so the engage still to be had on TSM's lineup. Of course, Liquid running double tank themselves as well, and we'll see what comes through on this one. Champ Select is over. The fans are ready. So are we, and the players loading into the game. The first game of the 2018 season for the North American LCS. TSM taking on Liquid. Let's get in the game. Here we go. Lineups on your screen. Liquid picking up 3/5 the former Immortals roster from last year, but they added Impact and Doublelift, 2 of the probably most important free agents so far. And I mean, Liquid have put themselves together a huge super team. TSM replacing 3 of their lineup, keeping Hanser and Bjergsen. Mike Young, only 1 year under his belt, but Svenemithi coming over from G2, 2-time European champions, certainly incredible players in their own right. We'll see which one has put together the best roster so far in the beginning of the season.
All right, first off, we've got fan out with defensive openings for everybody, guarding all the river entrances. No big surprises here, but Impact is going to go, and looks like he was trying to find his way around the Krug camp, but Hanser saw him on his own Tribush ward and is able to let him know that he shall not pass. Meanwhile, Doublelift staring down his replacements.
See what comes through on this one as they dance back and forth. They did both start Relic Shields, so an auto attack's worth 3 gold. If one can sneak one away right there, but not just yet.
All right, it looks like we are going to have a bottom side start here for Smithy on this Gragas, so a possible, top side finish there for him. With Shyvana, a lot of people only think of Shyvana as this hard farming jungler that's just always incredibly strong in 1v1s and can out-duel everybody. But for her first clear, it actually is a little bit tricky in sustaining enough health to get a very strong early clear. So there's a couple of different options that people have. There's early recall timings. I prefer the one where you try and get early Scuttle Crab spawns, because a Scuttle Crab is very easy to take and gives you very large amounts of free health, basically, because it doesn't attack back, and you're able to get a lot of extra vision control as well, which is important for her early on in the game.
Looks on a Mithy, bit of damage there. Ole and Double If. Got to get used to saying these new duo names. Ven and Mithy is easy, but Ole Double If, I feel like he very rarely changes teammates, but gonna have to get used to that one. The new look for Team Liquid.
Well, good. Lucky enough for you, we have Ole on Alistar, so it's an Afro-Mu classic, and you can just kind of remember back into the old days of his, not his first team, but the first one he got famous on.
Yeah, well, right now Sven getting the push, and Ole on this here, gonna get himself the last hit. It's okay, I wasn't trying to call you out on it, but you got there eventually. Blue buff for Smithy. So far not getting counter jungled, which is pretty much to expectation. No escapes for Shyvana early on in this one, but yeah, Mike Young doing a pretty full clear, skipping Krug so far. I know you're the better juggler than me, but Shyvana seems like a decent Krug killer because she has so much magic damage. It's not too terrible, but gonna skip it on the first clear so far. Probably recall after this Romp or a Scuttle or something.
Biggest thing about Krugs is they're just kind of out of the way.
Yeah.
First clears, we usually see people skip them, and you will oftentimes end up on the other side of the map, the other team's Krugs, to go for one of those steals. But Shyvana, as we said, has some early clear health issues, so instead of Mike Young extending himself to go look for a Scuttle and get some health back, just goes for the recall, safe, and able to finish up the Tracker's Knife to try and get some of that important vision back down like we talked about.
Absolutely. Trades going on around here. And you can see, I want to look at the top lane real quick. This blind pick Gangplank for Impact, who was, I thought, one of the best top laners last year. And
he got a
gold bag! Ooh, yeah, he got two actually. I saw him consume them both. It is actually on average efficient to consume them, expected value positive for consuming rather than selling. So he's rich right now, individual money 1,200 on him, but back to the bot lane, a stun, and the headbutt backwards, exhaust though back on his Ven, they land the stun, the attack's still coming on through, he's gonna get more damage, a flash out from Ole, force him away, and the Rend is gonna come in and get some more damage across, 250 health left on this Taric, but out they go.
Ooh, pretty bad trade there for the TSM bottom lane, as has 3 summoner spells expended just for the heal of Sven. And that is going to open up Mike Young. He knows that he has pressure bottom side. They've got a ward in the Tri-Bush. They have even a control ward here on the little pixel bush in the river. But because of that bottom lane trade, Smithy not going to spray the plant over the dragon here. And Mike Young will be extremely happy. If you get an early Drake, free 5 minutes on Shyvana, it is absolutely insane. Due to her passive, she gets free armor and magic resist for every Drake that they're able to take. On top of that, it is an Ocean Drake, which is going to help out the solo laners here for TSM and maybe turn things around.
Best pre-10 Drake by far is Ocean. Infinite Sustain feels amazing. Impact now starting to take some control of this top side right now. Down 3 CS, but we can just find for himself. Yeah, Liquid's got to feel pretty decent about some of their lanes, but yeah, TSM with that Drake's going to feel pretty awesome so far. Monster's trying to shove an Impact, push him away, and it has been otherwise a somewhat uneventful early game. Liquid's bot lane summoners still cooling back up, and I don't think there's going to be a super easy all-in for the Alistar Calista lane just yet. Remain to be seen, I guess, till a little bit later on to this one.
Yep, they're just retaining control there of the bottom side. You know, as we saw in Champ Select, it was pretty clear TSM were going to be focusing around this area of the map. They've got check 1, honestly, on their list done here as far as the early Drake control. Now it's about how does this vision line on the river sort of extend, because both of them have rushed the early trackers, and it becomes that sort of early dangerous game of going for the blind invades to get your first level of the deep vision. And Smithy, actually, there's already a support recall here.
Uh-oh, getting a ward killed, but suddenly teammates around him, or opponents I should say, Jersey coming around as well, but Mithy slowed down by the barrel, and yeah, Mike Young has 0 crowd control on this champion, so cannot stop the drivers from running away.
Smithy able to get out there, even though his mid lane was recalled and the enemy support was already in a route. So a couple of extra seconds there mean the difference. Smithy gets out, no summoner spells needed, and he did get the deep vision. That control ward around the red buff is going to be there and allow them to see Mike Young once he goes for the red. So it'll be very interesting to see how Smithy pass around this, because that's going to give him great knowledge of tracking Mike Young.
Who does not try to buffer the rocket jump away from Heavy Pulverize, but able to walk away safely enough. Nimble feels fine, I guess, just saves it regardless, and he'll be okay. I do want to call attention to the fact that we're seeing quadruple Relic Shield right now in the bottom lane. Both AD carries are running that item. For those of you who hadn't kind of tracked since Worlds and everything else when Relic Shield was coming back then as well. Yes, Ardent Sensor got nerfed. We're no longer seeing Janna and Karma every single game, but Relic Shield itself as an item got substantial buffs. All those items got the Bandit passive for the gold on missing CS when hitting an opposing champion. They also, Relic Shield specifically, gained more sustain on it. There's a 2% missing health heal now as well, so just the value of the item went up so much in just what it intrinsically provides that it's just the best starting item now for Marksman. And around 12 minutes, you'll see them upgrade to Targon's Brace and get about 400 health out of that upgrade.
And as you kind of alluded to, the other support items have been buffed as well, and we've been seeing those in the jungle, in solo laners even, starting them as far as Spell Thieves and the like. So maybe even on in further games, as the day goes on, we can see other variations of the gold income.
Yeah, I have expected Spell Thieves Nidalee out of Mike Young or Evelyn, something like this. It's really, really common on AP jungle specifically, or very passive top laners like Nasus might go Coin.
All right, we are going to have the blue buff spawning Neff here for Mike Young, and the Team Liquid Vision, it's been pretty good. They've been able to track him very well. We were talking about kind of the sphere of influence that follows Shyvana around. They've been able to easily navigate around this, and both teams pretty much dead even right now as far as the gold is concerned. Really, the only difference is the big Drake that TSM were able to take early on, and obviously it does have further reaching benefits.
One other big change that happened in the preseason is jungle farm is actually a bit more stabilized, where every camp is worth 4. So it's a lot easier to actually track who's been getting more gold out of the jungle. So Mike Young up about 14 CS over Xmithie means he took about 3.5 more camps than Xmithie overall, and the gold lines up pretty cleanly with that.
Blue handoff here should go pretty seamlessly. Xmithie's going to take a look.
You can get lucky, but it's unlikely.
I mean, it's just going to pause the smite here. They have to wait for it to explode first. Mike Young takes a little extra damage from holding that blue buff. And meanwhile, that delay is going to maybe cost him... actually, it doesn't cost him any minions because of the Voidlings there from Pobelter taking the turret shots. And now he's going to get his early roam off there. So this is kind of cascading pressure from the blue stall up to the top side. Let's see if Hanser is going to see this one coming or not.
No magic, no health on Hanser, but does dodge away from the first bit of damage. Flashes out of the slow beam. Here comes the E into R. The Nether Barrel's going to show up, and the Mouse going to make it an easy combo. He's got no way out. Nullifying Orb Beams, nothing. First blood to Liquid.
I love connecting the dots here. Xmithie delays the blue, allows Pobelter to push his wave in fully on the mid turret, and then he gets off the roam without any communication from TSM, signaling Hanser to back up. So once Pobelter's here, it is too late. Yeah, there's a flash. That makes it easy for Pobelter to know he's already used both of his mobility tools. He walks in, gets all spells down, and it's an easy first blood for Team Liquid. That being said, the gold is still very close.
And unfortunately, a wasteful flash for Hanser. It didn't build him nearly enough distance. He was already getting hit right there by Pobelter, so it was a completely wasted flash. Hate to see it, but he has down an extra summoner that he maybe didn't need to burn. As you mentioned, though, Kobe, yes, gold is equal, and even though TSM is down 300 gold, they still have that Ocean Drake, which does give them some level of power that doesn't really show up in gold, the next Drake spawning in 30 seconds.
And that's an interesting thing, because when everyone is looking at the offseason, and TSM made this, well, all right, we don't have any action there. When TSM made the changes, right, importing Mithy and Sven, signing Mike Young, a lot of it, they keep on citing communication and these coordination issues. And the first play of the entire season where they give up first blood is a Pobelter just straight up roam from the mid turret where they saw him up to top side to be able to secure that.
Yeah, just said, Mia mid, he's not there, he shoved on the turret, he could be anywhere, and Hanser just stays in lane saying he's not coming top lane, and he was wrong about it. Drake comes back up, Mike Young wants it.
Yep, meanwhile, we got to refocus in on the game plan there for TSM. It was completely bottom lane centric. They're exceeding the vision control here around Dragon, fully into the red quadrant of the jungle. They also have a Ryze who has a very big sphere of influence as far as the range he can teleport with the ultimate, so it really opens it up for Mike Young to just stack these dragons. They have the Kalista bottom lane. It is not a fully completed Bork or anything, but they're keeping the bottom lane pushed in, and we'll see if there's any sort of contest.
Well, Taric Trista are starting to come around a little bit. They are going to be first on the play.
Mike very low.
Yeah, down to half HP. Cloud Reach with the highest single target damage. A stun goes in, but a nice rocket jump buffered properly by Double Lift gets himself out, but now no one's really around to stop. Gragas is close, actually. Mike Young getting him.
If he ulted, he could get a kill.
He would be close, but no, the Smite's going to come in time. Double Drake picks up the TSM.
All right, Smite comes in. Drake kill comes in. Mike Young going to heal right back up and go back to farming his jungle. But again, it's all about that bottom lane bodyguard style. The Alistar Kalista, incredibly threatening early on. They're post to level 6, so the playmaking is absolutely insane for that duo. and the skirmishing around Drake is very dangerous for Team Liquid. Interesting to see both teams sticking to their guns here as far as their strategies. A little bit of top side there for Team Liquid, and bottom for Team SoloMid.
This is kind of the first time all game the Team Liquid bottom lane has had a chance to shoot this bottom turret, but because they went to help the Drake and took a recall off, a lot of time here. This turret down to half HP. Kind of matches what TSM had done to that turret earlier on.
Turret teleports are available for all 4 solo laners, by the way. Because remember, this is a 4 teleport game.
Yep.
A couple of those with Spellbook as well, so they'll be reduced. And it does make it fairly difficult to track those cooldowns. And those games can get extremely hectic. But as of right now, everyone should know that they're all available.
Yeah, they are right now. We'll see what happens. Mike Young wants to steal the red buff, and he's going to lock in and didn't judge the instincts quite right. Smithy gets the last hit, but now lands the body slam, lands the ultimate available, and he's going to get out before he's in range of Walter's ultimate. But now it's Bjergsen in melee range, gets a shield, and does not get ulted himself. As now here comes the dual lane. Mithy on the other side of this one. As long as he can get his teammate around, Sven can save him, but he's got to buy some time for himself. He's going to lock in range, pulls him in, he will stay alive, and saves Unbreakable Will. Mithy said, no, we've got enough time. Sven's going to be here. He's got my back, and he was right.
Honey Fruit for him to heal up a little bit as well. And remember, they do have an Ocean Drake. Right now, though, it looks like there's a collapse on bottom.
A lot of damage. They know no ulti for Kalista. Plenty of damage here. Exhaust. Here comes Gangplank as well. The flash forward. Double also knock him back in and does so. Another pushback, and Double gets himself the kill. 2-0 to Liquid. As the chase continues, they're all going to turn invulnerable thanks to Ole's ulti. The chase is on Mithy at 200 HP, maybe a little bit more. The flash to double stun. Huge plays out of the bot lane. 4 kills to Liquid.
Olay gets double stuns there. Smithy flashes in. Double Lift flashes in. Everybody's going full throttle here for Team Liquid. They're going to be able to snowball this into first turret gold as well. And this is a very big swinging point for them.
Absolutely massive here on this one. Gets back to the mid lane, keeps the turret in a decent enough spot. Yeah, takes some damage, but shouldn't die to Bjergsen out of this turret. He's going to try, lands another skill shot. Nicely done, Bjergsen. You can hear the crowd starting to chant for Liquid, having a great start in this one.
Yeah, you can tell there's a lot of Double Lift fans out there, and he gets a little bit of the taste of the revenge he's looking for. You can see there the Taric stun recalibrated a little bit to land that one. Good ultimate from Smithy, knocking Sven back there. And this was right after they had blown the Kalista ultimate already from the invade where Mike Young earlier on had gone for the red. Then we have some more flashes coming in there with the Taric stun on once again to land the extra kills, and that is so much money quickly put into the pockets of Double Lift that he's got Infinity Edge done, plus a bunch of attack speed here with his boots and the extra dagger. Now we'll see how lucky can he get with those crits, because it's still a fairly low percentage chance,
20%.
but he does have the multiplier already.
Yeah. So he's definitely big. If he lands the crits, he's big. He's also already upgraded to Targon's Brace, so he's basically got a giant spell in that inventory slot. As soon as he starts getting some last hits, he'll stack that back up. Or I guess once he finishes the quest, it's only 650 so far. But soon enough, as long as Ole comes back, and that actually makes it an important strategic point, Ole needs to share gold with Double Lift to get him that shield.
Meanwhile, we also have to keep track of the vision wards, and there are actually a lot of pings as well from Team Liquid. So it's not only the wards that Team Liquid are putting down, but they're also tracking TSM's wards. And sometimes the information gained when you know where the enemy's wards are is even more important than the ones that you're also able to get down. So a lot of control here as well from Team Liquid, in addition to the 4 kills that they've got. They're really exerting their will on the map right now.
Absolutely. We'll see what's next for them. Infinite Drake spawning in 140. Of course, this Rift held up as well for the next 4.5 minutes. See if that ends up being the eye of someone's attack. Right now, just a dual lane staying on the top side. Of course, TSM unable to answer that turret kill so far, and Hanser not making insane headway against Impact, but that bot turret is at about 1/3 HP, so if it does go well, he can kill it off. Okay, at half, I take that back, but and no more damage being done for a while. Impact is still safely farming, got 3 assists from that bot lane play. And there we go, Liquid continuing their map control. Pretty much unassailable Herald grab, and that should be the second turret of the game when it gets summoned.
Yeah, and honestly, I actually think it'll be the 3rd turret, because top turret is so low that the 2nd turret, Team Liquid, should just knock it over manually, and then they can actually use the Rift Herald for mid turret, which is the hardest nut to crack, and it is honestly the most important as well. Bjergsen's been defending his mid turret extremely well, but that would be kind of the last domino here for Team Liquid to really open up those jungle invades.
Yeah, so it starts to get scary as the outer turret wave will fall. As you mentioned, the second one's already gone. He's looking for the play right now to knock down Povel because we have the knockup, not just yet, but with a nice knockback. Ulti's coming in, but it's a whiff right there. Air ball sent true to his name, and now out they go. Looks like it's not going to be much more of an engagement, but he pops the Zonias, and I'm not quite sure what he was trying to block, but either way, he did use a stopwatch and walked away.
Yeah, I mean, we can always chalk it up to some people with so many actives, especially in different roles. Forget which one their stopwatch is on with all the moving around, but we'll take a look here as Rift Herald is summoned in the mid lane, and Team Liquid do reorientate.
Getting pretty low. Here comes the headbutt pulverized onto 2 targets in the front line. No stun to be landed, but the turret scum, which means no defense left for TSM. The flash, ulti into the back line, looking for that kill, and they're likely to get it. Sven, not long for the world. He's going to fall down. Double getting revenge yet again in his X-team. As Mike Young pops the hourglass, but has not a lot of time left to go. The stopwatch won't matter. Mike Young is down. Alistair's next up. King Me, they say, looking for maybe the number 5, but not just yet. Back to the mid lane 2-2 turret, and Herald will survive to knock down yet another. Barrel chain shows up for a bit more damage. 7-0, 4-0 in turrets.
And even though they gave up the first 2 dragons, there's an Infernal Drake for Team Liquid to grab on top of this giant lead that they've been able to accrue for themselves. So it looks like Doublelift won't have to wait too long to get a little taste of that revenge against his former team, because they are coming out swinging.
This is one of those games where Sven and Mythic can say, hey dude, we won the laning phase, but the ganks come through. Unlucky 3v2 bot lane, but still, this fight really well done by Liquid.
Definitely smooth, and you can tell the team fighting here coming in huge. They combo Malzahar ultimate to hold them in place. Taric ultimate comes down, so everybody is then invulnerable. And Mike Young is going to get picked off as well with the extra stuns. Mythic tries to get some damage down there, but it doesn't matter because they were already tanking the turret, and Team Liquid are just steamrolling this one. Now, when they had the owners up on stage, Reginald kind of made fun of Steve there for Team Liquid starting their practice earlier, but practice makes perfect, and the practice is definitely showing here. Team Liquid, very smooth.
Yeah, aside from Mike Young, it would be a perfect game, actually, Liquid, yet to lose a champion or any turrets, but those Dragon Sneaks have done pretty well for Mike Young, getting revenge on his champion's heritage to a certain extent. Bit of a lore dig for you guys, and you can see this bottom turret getting a little bit lower over time. Impact, I think it'll show up in these lanes, though, and Gangplank with some of his new builds has actually been getting a bit more durable. You're seeing Resolve Secondary in his runes. He's getting a Sterix Gauge second item, which got pretty substantially buffed in his melee only. Part of the reason this champion got so good, he's got a much better build pass this season.
He's rich.
Super good.
That's the
he's
part
also
of the
rich,
reason.
which, yeah, okay, sure. He got helped by Runes Reforged. Obviously, there's other things going on, but that money is spent in even better items this year.
Yeah, money well spent on Impact there. Meanwhile, we have continued invades here. From now on, I mean, honestly, with this sort of a lead, Team Liquid get their run of the entire map. So, yep, your red buff is my red buff. Control wards all through this red quadrant. And they're even pinging on mid lane. So it looks like a 2-pronged approach here, while Impact just kind of holds on down bottom and continues farming up extra gold.
I don't think it's interesting. Ole's going Tear the Goddess here on Taric. I've seen it a little bit more recently, but turns out you can just spam so many of your spells because of how the passive works out. You've got mana constraints, and so even though he's less tanky, spending 350 on an item like that, it does give him better teamfight power if he stays alive.
Yeah, it's something I love when Taric gets ahead, or when your team gets ahead.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, you're getting tier and you can spam all your spells, and we did see it in Korea a decent amount, but spending that much money on a melee makes it really important. Yeah, exactly. It makes it really important that you time your ultimate well so you don't die. But since the team is so far ahead, and he has been timing his ultimates well, it's extremely powerful, because as you said, with the passive and you're getting autos off, you get to just absolutely spam your spells and keep your team very healthy.
Yeah, so far, life is good then for Liquid fans and the Liquid players as well, looking to start the season off alone in first place as this game concludes. Right now, it's a 6,000 gold lead, and it's not really showing many signs of slowing down. Baron is alive, spawned 45 seconds ago, and you imagine that is next up in the chopping block, the next objective for TL to control.
See if they actually try and pressure around the perimeter there, or if Impact's even feeling pretty strong right now. It looks like he's going to push out Hanser with Doublelift trailing him. This is an interesting thing that we usually see with double solo lane teleports, but Doublelift is here on an 80 carry. And he does have the jump.
That's the jump. That could mean ult comes through for Impact to slow him down. He does have it available. There goes the shot.
flash.
The Death's Daughter, yeah.
Double Lift has red buff. He could really overextend for it and, flash heal to try and get some autos.
He's going to save that for Worlds, all right? I mean, right now he's still saving his flash. Double Lift after all. Either the jokes work. Either of the jokes work. It's fine. Hey, he's winning the game. I can talk smack. Right now, though, still, Bjergsen getting a little bit of alone time up there. That was a bit of a play planned out by TL. Didn't work, and it spent some of the resources. So Bjergsen getting a bit of alone time with this turret might be able to knock this one down.
Yeah, part of the reason that we usually see that sort of a trailing split push play with double teleport solo laners is that the other solo laner can then teleport back to the other side of the map where the other team realizes you're weak. But because they use their AD carry, then there is this shift from Team Liquid that's a little slow. So TSM are able to get back a turret.
Breaks the shield, headbutt pulverizes in, and goodbye. Yeah, I don't think he's got a way out of that one. Poboto drops to the ground. Bjergsen gets the first kill of TSM season.
Meanwhile, in the mid lane, the double lift and Ole duo is pushing right up onto the turret. They won't have much time, though, because the rest of TSM who just secured the kill onto Pobelter, are heading right back down to try and get a pick here.
Let's see what they can find for themselves. Liquid are missing one player. Pobelter respawns in 23 seconds. Here comes the play. They're going to land a root on Ole. Going to pop his open to buy a bit more time, and a nice knockback. Double Lift sends them packing. Out they go. No kills picked up.
A couple of flashes used there, but they do get the escape off. TSM with a little bit of money back in their pockets. That's how you have to start a comeback. If you're going to get one, though, it's one step at a time. You get a small win, and then you cut your losses because you don't want to overextend after that. So TSM, they got a turret, and they did get one kill. However, definitely still Team Liquid in the driver's seat here. And as you kind of alluded to before, Freak, the Baron is probably going to be the next point of power. There's 50 seconds on this Drake, so they could easily clean that one up just because they don't want to kind of give anything back over to TSM. You don't want Shyvana getting any more free stats, not necessarily for the actual power of it, but then kind of move all your wards back up to that Baron stuff.
Right. It'll be a small micro point. Well, I agree Liquid are likely to play for Ocean Drake, but that'll mean that TSM get to take ward control over Baron when those resources are sent that way, and then Liquid will have to re-grab Baron control. It shouldn't be hard. They're winning, but it's going to be a required shift.
The team with the stronger 5-on-5, which is right now Team Liquid, very clearly, gets to make those choices, right? You can give up ward control of Baron as long as you're not worried about them sneaking it, which
Kalista
is a possibility. But then you can easily retake it, right? Because if you move in with 5, not much they can do about it. All right, here we go, though. Scuttle is going to be taken for TSM, and the threat on taking that Baron is that
Young right in the middle. He's going to get jumped on dead to Malzahar. You have to believe it. Explosive cast, push him away, and now there's no chance to steal. This will be a Baron secured, no problem. You've got to believe it. As soon as this fight comes in for Xmithie, that should be a minor miracle to take it away, and it won't happen. A kill plus the Baron grabbed by Liquid. They made the right call.
Ooh, that was definitely some miscommunication from TSM there. Mike Young goes in. Maybe they thought it was a little bit lower, or they thought they didn't have any other chances, but maybe just committing him for a steal attempt. At that point, though, this is all Team Liquid right up the middle.
5v4, no jungler, Baron buff on, and Hanser is gone. Double with his 4th kill of the game. And as the ulti gets sent, Xmithie gets sent back to the base, but doesn't really matter. Next wave's coming in about 15 seconds. TL, again, with map control, can push anything they want.
So because there's so many resources out on the map right now, all the other neutrals, red, blue, and dragon, I was thinking that there might be a reset from Team Liquid, but they're just grabbing the red for double lift, and they might make this end game push.
23 seconds still on Hanser respawning. 5v4 with Baron is one of the best push times you can get right here. Their gold lead also 9,000. Inhibitor going to fall. Now's the reset. They won't have another wave at a turret until Hanser comes back.
12 seconds here left on Hanser. So TSM are just keeping Bjergsen splitting on top, but Team Liquid will retreat back to collect all those resources, and Inhibitor down means they can immediately return out to the map. But there's the play. Yeah, it definitely was. Okay, so it was a steal attempt, basically. It's like it's one of the suicide steal attempts.
Yeah.
They don't think that Mike is going to come back alive from that mission, but there is a chance that he gets in there when it's low enough, I guess, for the steal. So they kind of sent him in on that one-way mission and said, good luck. Hope you can get the steal.
I feel like there's still a chance that it wasn't on purpose because, like, I was looking at how he's moving, and he walked into the circle, but he wasn't, like, going to one side of it. It looked like he was just walking in. Oh, I got teleported. But
with those things, we have to wait for the listen in on the comms.
Could have been either way. But you're right. It was a nice attempt. Sadly, he couldn't get away. He had burned his stopwatch earlier, couldn't buy more time in the pit, and obviously Liquid played the fight very well. Malzahar guaranteed it, and everything was fine. Respect how Double took the Drake, by the way, though. He knew Red Buff would kill it. It was actually really clever. Props to Double for a nice Drake kill there.
stylish.
It was stylish. I love that. It's that Z-esque walk away, you'll die, don't worry about it.
All right. Meanwhile, again, the point that you brought up, kind of the clean looking play here from Team Liquid. It looks like, you know, most of this game they've been fairly calm with all of their plays, and the way that they play that Baron, you know, they just pull right back off it. Has over 2,500 health left, so there's no chance of the steal coming through, and they just focus on the enemy jungler, then regroup to retain the objective. Now they're making their push on bot side. These super minions already are requiring the attention of Sven there in the mid lane, so TSM can't mount any sort of counterattack until the second inhibitor turret, and this one's going down quickly too.
Nice knockback gets rid of Mithy to buy them a few more seconds, but be careful because Pulverize still available if they need it. So far, no engage yet. TSM still waiting for the push to come through, looking for something to have happen. Hoping to find that comeback engage down 10,000 gold. Right now, just staying with the siege mid lane, starting to stack up soon enough. Mithy again posturing the front side, gets done. Here comes the big terrible to buy some more time. Mithy's not going to have a good target to go for. Pulls back in. Ole suppression on the top side. They're going to knock down Hanser yet again. Another death for him. And it's going to be a kill on Mithy as well. The flash not going to get Sven just yet. He's cutting the back line, but still gets pulverized in the back. Gets a body slam to the face. And now he's still trying to kite away as everyone else staying alive. Bjergsen gets across it, but doesn't really matter at this point as the team around him is dying. The turrets are falling. The structure's being destroyed. And under 30 minutes, Liquid going to shut down TSM in the first game of the split. And Doublelift gets revenge on his old team.
Off-season money well spent by Team Liquid as they take down the defending champions. Doublelift gets a little bit of his revenge, and they've got some early season success.
And $15,000 to City Year, courtesy of Andy Din. Thank you very much. A bet well placed. And that's the new look of Team Liquid. One of the big super teams this year, power ranked by many as the second, maybe third best team in North America, but right now in first place, giving maybe a single death, I think, to TSM, which is a great way to start your season.
Definitely true. And look at that. They're definitely happy about the success that they had in that game. And honestly, it looked so smooth for them, aside from, you know, the bottom lane composition there with the Shyvana, the Kalista, and Alistar. Kind of expect that to have control of the Drakes, and TSM did a good job with those objectives. But aside from that, the game was pretty much all Team Liquid.
Totally agree. And I think Liquid's going to be a hard team to, in some cases, talk about after the game because every player is so damn good. I went and looked at the damage graphs, and it was actually impacted by a lot, doing the most damage on his team. And it's a player that we almost never talk about the entire game, and yet played pretty much perfectly.
Just talk about how rich he is.
Yeah, I mean, he's super rich, had a lot of money, klepto and all that stuff. But yeah, did 1 million damage, 0 deaths, had really good ults in the team fights. I thought he had just very good control, was never ganked. He actually, you know, kind of created the first blood by having the wave close to his side to allow the roam to come in. I mean, a lot of good things, even though we spoke his name maybe twice all game.
This is why, on this or that, we're talking